I'm trying to do a video, honey. Buddy, I'm trying to do a video. Okay? Hi. All right. Good morning, YouTube. I am on vacation with the family, and I have a tennis court right in front of my house. So I decided I would bring a few setups to try out and kind of do a little comparison video. As you guys know from the last video, which was a few months ago, I got a rockered setup for kind of wizard style skating, and since then I've become obsessed with it. So I did the most irresponsible thing possible, and I got basically every setup I could for wizard stuff, just because it's amazing. Now there's not much content out there kind of saying, well, this one's like this and this one's like that, so I decided to do a video, and that's where we are right now. So I'm heading over to the tennis court. I've got one setup today. I'm gonna try to do a setup every single day, and we'll see how it goes. Okay, so I'm gonna try to do a setup every day while I'm here at the beach, spend a little bit of time. Now, I am by no means probably qualified to do this, not at all, but I'm gonna do it anyway. If you know I'm wrong about something, please take it with a grain of salt. Please, you know, let me know that I'm wrong in the comments. I'd appreciate it. But basically, I just want to give you my feedback on what these skates are like, what each setup is like. I'm going to use 2 different skates. Then I have, I believe, 7 different frames to choose from. One's going to be a flat UFS style frame. The other is going to be a raised heel 165 mount style frame. So the flat I'm going to use on the Seba CJ Prime with the Intuition V2 liner, and the 165 mount I'm going to use on an FR1 Deluxe, and see if I can get a good comparison with them. So anywho, let's go ahead and get started. I hope you guys enjoy. Thanks. Bye. All right, so I've spent the past couple days trying out these different setups, trying to figure out, you know, just kind of the differences between the Wizard frames and the other frames that are out there, endless and the NN frames, as well as the Kaiser. I tried them on 2 different boots. Let's go over those real quick. So I've got the Seba. There we go. It's the Seba CJ Prime boot. Okay, I've got the Intuition liner in there. Obviously this setup right now has the Wizard NR 100s on them. A little bit of information about this boot is a flat boot for the UFS system. It has a small little heel riser in there to kind of lift your heel up. The Intuition liners do have the option of having an additional heel pad on them. However, with this setup, I took that heel pad off simply because this boot is very tight on my foot and I needed as much space as possible. Now, this boot might actually be a little too tight for my feet. I do find that my feet tend to go numb in them. However, I haven't spent a lot of time breaking them in, so that's possible that'll pass. But it is something that you have to do generally with a very tight-fitting Wizard skate, and it's something they recommend to spend about 10 to 20 hours kind of breaking them in to see where they get to. And it really will make a huge difference. Now, I know this liner fits my foot, the liner fits in the shell, so we'll kind of see what happens. But either way, you know, this is a solid skate, solid boot shell. It is traditionally an aggressive skate. I have not tried it on aggressive yet, just because I love my them skates so much. But one of these days I will give it a try when I'm not doing the Wizard skating on them. The other skate that I have is the FR1. Now this is a modified FR1, obviously. The traditional FR1 does come with a ratchet strap. I got rid of the ratchet strap to go for a Velcro strap simply because I wanted it to be kind of closer to the Wizard setup. I like a nice Velcro strap. Ooh, flies. Excuse me. I like a nice Velcro strap. It feels good. Very rarely you over tighten them. And if you have a nice tight fitting boot already, adding an additional pressure, you know, cut off circulation to foot, it's not really necessary. It's good for setups where you're big wheeling or if you're going long distances. I find that I like a good ratchet strap, but for this type of maneuvering on Wizards frames, I prefer the Velcro strap. Additionally, it does have the Intuition liner that comes with the FR1. This liner is very similar to the V1 Intuition liner, and I really like it. It's a little bit more spacious than the one that I have in my my Seba, which is the medium V2. This is kind of like a half size up from that, so it's a little bit more roomy. This skate's a little bit more comfortable, and I do enjoy this skate for more of distance skating, things like that, but it works out pretty great for this kind of Wizard or freestyle rolling, as it were. So yeah, let's go over the frames that I've tried out and kind of go over the differences. So first one I have is the Wizard PR90, or sorry, PR80, my bad. This is a 5-wheel, 80mm setup. It has a nice little rocker in it, and as you can see, the frame is flat here, but as you can see, it does have a higher point here than it does here. So it does create a little bit more of a heel lift in the naturally in the with the shell, which is kind of nice, but can throw you off a little bit if you're not used to it. As you can see, it has this is the front, so obviously that goes on the front of the skate. This is a very nimble setup. You'd think that 5 wheels might, you know, be grippy, but the rocker is really nice. Now, I'm not certain on which wheel is the pivot point on this rocker. I'm assuming that it's the 4th wheel, but it could be this wheel. I'm not. It's one of these two. I'm not certain. I don't know the rocker on the Wizards. I just know that it feels good. It flows really well. All right, sorry about that. Per the usual, I'm using time that I'm cooking to talk about skates. But anyway, so PR90. I don't know what more to say about this. It doesn't feel near. Obviously, it's a rockered skate, rockered frame, so it doesn't feel like a long frame. You pivot really, really well on these. I find that I enjoy this 80 mil setup in a tight area. You know, they're real nimble, so when you're doing tricks, you're rockered on this too, so it really decreases the distance of your contact points versus something that might be further apart, like the 100 mils. It's going to be a little bit more like that. I don't have the 100 mils free from a skate at the moment, otherwise I'd give you a show. But yeah, there's not much more to say about these. These are solid. I guess that's the biggest thing about the Wizard frames, is that they are solid. I believe, don't hold me to this, I could be wrong, but I believe they're CNC'd from a solid block of aluminum rather than bent into the shape. And you can really tell the moment you put these on how just solid they are. That's literally the only word that properly describes them. They feel beefy. There's a certain sound to them when you stomp your foot down after putting your skate on, and just this dunk, which is just really lets you know that these things are going to hold up to whatever you put them through. And I can't wait to give it a try on a pair of carbons to see what the difference is between the carbon and the basic Seba. All right, let's go moving on to the Dragons. All right, million distractions. All right, so now we have the NN Dragon. Okay, this is very similar to the PR80. I want to keep saying 90, but it's PR80. This is the NN Dragon V.M series, so it does have a progressive rocker, very similar to the PR80. The pivot point is this wheel, so it allows it. This wheel is a little bit. This was the lowest point wheel, a little bit higher, a little higher, a little higher, a little higher. Okay. Now, as to the amount of rocker that's on them, I'm not certain. I know that some wheels claim to be a millimeter, but I feel like this isn't a full millimeter on each rocker. Just like the PR80s. Man, I want to keep saying 90s. The PR80s. You kind of got to skate them a little bit before you really can feel the rocker. Now these have broken in a hair, but not much, and I feel like I can really probably get some more out of them the more I skate them. They feel just like the PR80s. However, they don't have that solid feeling. Now don't get me wrong, this is a block of aluminum, so it's strong, but it doesn't have the same solid feel. Additionally, you're higher up. You're a lot taller on this frame than you are on the Wizards. If I put them side by side, you can see the difference. I'm trying to make that as level as I possibly can. The Wizard's still down there. So, oh, and that's even the back. Let me turn that around so it's the front. It's even worse. Okay, so you can see that it's a little bit taller of a frame. Additionally, on the FR boot, you have this dip down right here that there's a plate inside the boot that connects the frames to. So you have this additional little blip right there plus the extra height of the frame. So you definitely got a higher ride, which I think is the biggest selling, maybe not the selling point, but the biggest advantage of doing the Wizard on a UFS system versus the 165 mount is the lower profile of the frame and your connection to the ground. Really, I think it's one of the biggest advantages of the two. So that's the NN Dragon. Solid frame, super solid, tall, nimble, and it feels really good. Alrighty, so million distractions. That's kind of the way it is trying to film. But next up, we have the Kizer Element 90. This is probably the least expensive rocker frame, at least that I'm aware of, I guess. Made by Kaiser, which is made by Power Slide. Excuse me, I'm drinking beer. So yes, it's a Kaiser frame made by Power Slide. It is a balanced rocker, meaning that it is, these two wheels are lower than these two wheels. So it's a 1 mil difference that I know of. And these are without a doubt the most nimble of all of the frames. You can really feel that rocker immediately. And if you're looking for a cheap way, or if you're interested in any way, shape, or form of trying to do like wizard skating or trying to do the freestyle skating, I recommend these. These will be good pretty much in any boot. You don't have to have the Sebas. I've used them on my dem skates, and I thought they were great. They were a ton of fun, and in fact, I didn't really understand wizard I keep saying wizard skating, but wizard skating isn't really a thing. Wizard skating is you're using a wizard frame, but really it's really just a kind of freestyle skating. But that's a different tangent and whatever. But so these are, in my opinion, the best entry-level point for this freestyle skating. It's inexpensive. It is nimble as all get out. It's a pretty low profile. I mean, you can see that the wheel comes up pretty much right to the base there. So there we go. Yeah, so it's a nice low profile. I keep saying it's nimble, but I mean, that's really the way it is. You pivot and move on these things so well. And as I was saying a minute ago, I really learned, man, airplanes and stuff it never stops. This is filming outside. It is what it is. And I'll just keep rambling until it passes, but I think it's gone now. So anyway, this is the frame that when I tried it, or when I used it, I really kind of understood how some of these maneuvers work. Now, granted, I'm no expert, and I've got a long way to go until I consider myself to be any good, but this kind of taught me the basics, which is simply like a gazelle maneuver. And it really, when you're riding it, you're sitting on these two wheels and you're able to just boop up to those, and it creates that nice pivot point for you to move on. It's pretty great. So if you're interested, now I know that at the time of making this video, these are sold out everywhere. So hopefully sometime soon they'll come out with these again, because they were really popular. I know quite a few people that would love to get their hands on a pair, and then they're trying to get these paired off of me. Not gonna happen. I like these. But anyway, yeah, give them a try. If you're interested at all, this is the way to go. This is how you get started. And if you love it as much as I did, maybe you can go ahead and get yourself a pair of Wizards whenever those become available again, because I know those are sold out everywhere as well. Anyway, moving on. Endless 90. Okay, now you should be familiar somewhat with the Endless frame. Endless frames are a balance rocker, just like the Kaiser. Now I don't think it's a full millimeter,
It didn't feel like a full millimeter when I tried them out. This is the 90 millimeter setup, and you can also do a 110 tri-rocker with this additional hole right here, which is pretty sweet. And it rolls great. There's not much more I can say about this. This is a fun frame. I like the endless frames. Now, they work well for the freestyle skating, but I don't think that they're really made for that. These are the most versatile frame out of the batch, the endless, the 90 and the 100, not one compared to the other, but the endless frames are probably the most versatile out of all of them, and they really make skating fun, without a doubt. Just rolling down the street, urban skating or trail skating or whatever, that just makes them a lot of fun. So I highly recommend these frames. I don't think that they're the best for the freestyle skating or wizard skating, but they're definitely the most versatile frames of all of them, and overall probably the most fun. You can do the wizard skating on them, without a doubt. You certainly can. I'm getting eaten by flies out here. You certainly can do it, and a lot of people have. That's obvious. But are they the best ones for it? No. But you can, and don't let what I just said about it not being the best for it discourage you in any way, because it's absolutely perfect and so much fun, regardless. I love the endless frames, without a doubt. So anyway, that's the endless 90. And here we have the big boy. All right, so the Wizard NR100. This is pretty much what started it all. This is the rockered UFS. It's a natural rocker, they say. I believe this is your pivot point right here. This is a little bit higher than that, a little bit higher than that, and this is obviously a little bit higher than this. So these cannot truly be compared to. Without a doubt, these are the superior frames of all of them. And it's hard to compare these to the PR80s. Obviously a 5-wheel versus a 4-wheel is going to be very different, is going to feel very different. But when it comes to just the simple maneuverability, overall versatility, these can't be beat. My only issue with them at all is that I wish I could put them on my FRs. I wish that they could mount, you know, they had a 165. If Wizard made a 165 mount, I'd buy that up in a heartbeat. I think that'd be a ton of fun. I mean, I'm nothing against the Sebas. I like them, and I may just be saying that because the Seba isn't broken into my foot properly yet, and that probably really is the only thing with that. But vastly superior to everything else on the market when it comes to the maneuvers and the just the overall skating, the feel, how solid this frame is. I mean, yeah, Wizard is solid, is the best way I can think of it. Tons of fun, real good rocker. Right off the bat, you know, they say you should go out and skate a little bit on them first, break in the wheels. These wheels I had on here were brand new. Never skated before I took them out onto the court to do a few maneuvers for this video, and immediately could feel the rocker, which is true with all of them. I could feel the rocker right away, but this one I felt it very strong, and it's just they're just a lot of fun. Now, these are great in a tennis court. These would be great in a skate park. But if you have a real tight, small skate park, I don't think they're good for. These are great for going into the city, finding a nice open space, and just skating. just going out and skating. You can do whatever the heck you want on them and just have a lot of fun. And same thing with the PR80s. The Wizard frames, people complain about how expensive they are. If you're into this, they're worth the money. Okay, very similar to the Intuition liner. You know, it's an expensive liner, yes, but if you're into this, if you're into skating, if it's what you like, it's worth the money. Or perhaps that's me just justifying it, but I love them. This probably is my favorite setup right here. This and the PR80s are my favorite frames, without a doubt. But that's not discounting the other ones. That's me simply being nitpicky for the sake of adding content for this video. Alrighty, so more distractions obviously, but next up we have the Ronin. Whoop. Let's try that again. Alright, next up we have the Ronin. Alright, so this was my entry into the world of freestyle rolling, skating, wizard, lack of a better term. And this is what got me hooked. This created the obsession. These things are so cool. I love that they go directly onto my FR skates, and they're just tons and tons of fun. They have a rocker. It's probably close to a natural rocker. It could be considered a progressive rocker. Here's your pivot point, and it goes up from the back. Great skate, looks so cool when you're skating. You know, that nice shine is just beautiful. 100 millimeters, rolls great. Very nimble right off the bat. Closest you can get to the Wizard frame, to the traditional Wizard frame. So the Dragon and the Ronin are the closest that I have to my PR80 and my NR100s. You know, and I even have the Endless 100, and these are vastly superior is not the word, but more closely related to the wizard skating. So if you're into skating, if you rollerblade, if you don't have a UFS setup and you're riding a 165 mount and you want to do wizard skating, this is the frame you buy, without a doubt. Super fun. You know, the only real difference between this, obviously, well, there's more differences, but the only like real feel difference between this and the wizard frame obviously is going to be your ride height, and it's the wizard frame is, you know, CNC'd out of a solid piece, so it's just more solid than this, and that's being nitpicky. Really, it's just great. Thank you, buddy. Getting me water. It's hot out here, and I'm a sweet little boy. So yeah, the wizard frame is going to be more solid than this, but that's not saying a lot. It's still a piece of aluminum. It's still solid as hell. And it's a great over frame, and I believe that you can actually, you know, find these, which is nice. And last but not least, it's connected to the skate. The Endless 100, 110. These are my favorite skating frames. Not for freestyle skating, not for wizard skating, but just for going out and skating. If I'm going out and I'm just gonna go skate through the city, this is my go-to. This is, you know, obviously my setup. The FRs are made for that more than the Seba is, but this balance rocker is just a ton of fun. You can do the maneuvers on it, and if you break in the wheels more, it's going to get easier. But these are the most enjoyable frames that I have. If that makes, I know that makes sense, because they're the most fun. Obviously, you can do a 3x110 setup on these. I'd like to actually see if maybe I could fit a 125 in there. Might be possible. Seems like there might be space. One of these days I'll find out. But I love this skate. I love this setup. The endless setup, as I've said, is probably the most fun, most versatily fun. And I highly recommend endless frames to anybody who's got a 165 mount boot. If you're into big wheel skating, check out endless. They're tons of fun. You're not going to break your bank on them, but if you're really diehard into the wizard skating, then obviously you're going to go ahead and get the wizard setup. So, you know, that's all the frames. Pretty much the takeaway from all of this is going to be the fact that they're all great setups. Every single one of them, you're going to be able to do what you want to do on them. Nothing's going to inhibit you. I mean, obviously, each one is going to be superior to another in some way, shape, or form. Whether it be, oh, it's more superior because it's more cost effective. Oh, it's more superior because it's a more built, solid frame. You know, oh, it's more superior because it fits on this shell versus that shell. Overall, the only thing that matters is you're going out and you're having fun. Flies are ridiculous. Get off my beer. So, yeah, just get out there, skate, have fun. Doesn't matter what setup you have. The only thing that matters, again, is that you're having fun, is that you're skating and that you're enjoying yourself, and that you can, if you want to do the moves, do the moves. But either way, you know, all these frames are fantastic. Both of these skates are fantastic, and any differences is just being nitpicky and ultimately not really worth it. But either way, you know, thank you guys so much for watching. I had a lot of fun filming this video, and I'll get some more in the future. All right, guys, please like, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed yourselves. I know I did, and I will catch you guys later. Bye.